Hey, welcome to another piano lesson with Warren. My name is Warren Macpherson. Thank you for joining me here today. You know, it's Wednesday, and so if it's Wednesday, there's a tutorial coming your way. If you're new to the channel, every Wednesday, this is a channel where we talk about gospel piano, how to become a better gospel musician. I teach theory, I teach licks, lines, runs, passing, chords, everything you need under your belt to become a better gospel musician. We discussed here on the channel. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to take a look at sort of the top 10 popularly used gospel chords of today. There are a lot more than just 10, but I sort of narrowed it down to these 10 chords that if I'm playing a song, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be using a variation of all these chords. Now, these are more on the advanced side, but as a growing gospel pianist, you kind of need to be aware of what these chords are, how they sound, how they look, the name of these chords. Yes, I teach traditional piano in the sense that you need to know the name of the chords you're playing because music is an international language, you know? And so if you're not speaking the same language, then it's hard for you to communicate with musicians. And so I'm teaching you the general knowledge. So wherever in the world or in the country you are, the theory will be consistent. The chords will have the same name. But even more importantly than knowing the chords and what they sound like, or the name of the chord, is the voicing. The voicing can make or break the usage of the chord. So I'm going to dive into all of that today, and I'm going to show you how you can add these chords to actual songs. So they're not just abstract theory that, great, I know a bunch of chords, how do I use it? So I'm gonna show you how you can use all of that in this sort of mini tutorial. So stay tuned, all right? Okay, so I'm in the key of C today. I'm gonna do my demonstration in the key of C. And for this tutorial to make a lot of sense to you, you know, it is advised that you know all your sort of basic triads and chord progression already in the key of C. I chose C because most people are familiar with C, and so it's sort of easier to visualize these things. So the first chord we're going to look at is the add 9 chord. And this is a chord that even a beginner can start to implement in their playing. It's basically you take a triad and you add the 2 of the chord. And this chord becomes what we call an add 9 chord. See how it instantly changed the sound? Now I like to tuck it when I'm playing the chord in root position. I like to tuck it right here, just between the third and the root of the chord. If I'm playing the root, sometimes I might omit the root and just do something like that. It gives you the same sound, yeah? Now, when you're playing a major chord, you can automatically do this. And so in the key of C, the 1, the 4, or the 5, you just add that 9 and it will work. Doesn't matter the song, just do it, you know? You add the 9 and it will definitely give you a more beefier sound. Now, another cool way of how I use this add 9 chord is in first inversion. I have a specific voicing that I use. This. So if I'm playing a G, add 9 in first inversion, I'll do this. See the sound right here? Beautiful. If I'm doing my C in first inversion, I can do this. Still add 9, but the third's in the bass. Or my F. It's a nice voicing you should get familiar with. And so whenever I'm doing my first inversion movements, I'll do stuff like, yeah? So that's the first chord you want to add to your catalog, the add 9 chord. The second chord is the minor 9. So if I take an A minor we add the 7, then we add the 9. This is called a minor 9. But the specific voicing that I usually use when playing minor 9 chords, this. If you're not playing the root, like if you have a bass man, you can just omit the root, play that, and you still get your minor 9 chord. Because the bass changes it. But especially when you're playing solo piano, there's voicing right here. And so in the key of a C, or in any major key, we know that our second, our third, and our sixth are minor chords. So when I'm on my second, I can voice it like that. When I'm on my sixth, the only chord that you're kind of, I'm iffy, you want to be very specific before you voice a minor 9, is on the 3. And the reason being is because now we're going outside the key. See, to get a minor 9 on the 3 chord, we have to include the F sharp, which doesn't belong to the key of C. And so that can throw in a lot of dissonance right there. And so on the 3, oftentimes I just keep it to a minor 7. You know, if you want to get real jazzy, then you can include that F sharp, give you the minor 9. But I wouldn't advise you do that unless you're experienced and know exactly the sound you're going for. But on the second and on the 6th, definitely you want to pull out those minor 9 using that particular voicing. Moving down the line to chord number 3, that's the fully diminished chord. All these are diminished 7th chord. And diminished 7th chord, how you can visually sort of identify it on the keyboard is their build of minor thirds. Minor third, stacked on a minor third, stacked on a minor third. I call it the symmetric chord because it's comprised of all minor thirds. You can move them up chromatic like that. Now it is said that there's only 3 diminished chords in music. C, C sharp, and D. Because once you go to D sharp or E flat diminished, it's basically an inversion of C. See? Same chord. And every other diminished chord you're going to play is going to be an inversion of one of these 3 chords. And so that's one of the reasons why diminished chords are easy to play, because there's only 3 of them. You can play them in any inversion, basically. All right? And so a lot of the times in gospel, you might have something like, that's the diminished chord you're hearing right there. You know? Or when you have those preaching chords going. Diminished chord. Moving down the line to chord number 4, we have what is called the half diminished. Now it's very similar to the full diminished chord except one note. So if we take a full diminished chord and we raise that top note a half a step, we get the half diminished. And so now you have minor third, major third. And that's the difference between the fully diminished and the half diminished. We have an interval of a major third in the half diminished, and in the full diminished, it's all minor thirds. Now, the half diminished chord is oftentimes referred to as the minor 7 flat 5 in jazz and gospel. The classical guys usually say the half diminished, but the more jazz and gospel guys, we just refer to it as a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And that's because if you take a minor chord, add the 7, then you flat the 5th of the chord, you get a minor 7 flat 5. Same thing as the half diminished. And, there's so many places you can use this chord. Sometimes we substitute it for the 2. So I might be doing a progression like this. Then I might decide I'm going to go right there. That's the minor 7 flat 5 chord. So just basically my 2. Sometimes we just introduce that, go to a nice flat 13th, then you can resolve that. And once we introduce that 2 as a minor 7 flat 5, this chord is also referred to as like a borrowed chord because it doesn't belong to the key of C major. It's a chord from the C minor, which is the parallel minor key to C major. Borrowed chord. Yeah, so that's chord number 4. Moving on now to chord number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. It's the major 9 chord, and this is used in a lot of different genres of song, you know, R&B, neo soul. Definitely we use it a lot in gospel also. And major 9. So it's a major 7 chord with a 9. Once you want to get that smooth kind of sound, a neo soul, you know, you can pull out that major 9 chord. You know, but it's used a lot in a lot of subtle places. Like, Lord, I come to you, let my heart be changed, renew, flowing from the grave. Right there, hear that smooth sound? That I found in you. So major 9 chord, another popular chord you want to add to your arsenal. Moving down the line to chord number 6, we have the 6-9 chord. Very popular resolution chord used in jazz. And it's basically you take a triad, you add the 6, and you add the 9. And you have, a lot of the times when I'm going to my 1 chord and I'm looking for a little bit of spice, I would play this chord, a 6-9 chord. You know, so you're doing a 2. And you get that 6-9. It's a nice resolution chord. Sometimes I even use it on the 4. So if we go back to that song, Lord, I come to you, let my heart be changed, renew, flowing from the grace. Yeah? So, you know, it's another chord that you sometimes can substitute it with a major 9. So instead of me playing a major 9 chord, sometimes you can just play a 6-9 chord. Gives you a lot of flavor, and you're not going outside the key to put in any additional notes. So a little side note for a lot of my beginners and intermediate players, when you're like, you know, how do I spice up my song? It's not necessarily the big fat chords that has a lot of alteration that you need. You can just use the notes that are already available to you in the key. Minor 9s, major 9s, 6-9 chords. All of those are diatonic chords, diatonic harmony. And by just adding those, it takes your playing to a whole nother level without having to do anything else. Yeah, so moving down the line, now we have the minor 11th chord, which is another popular neo-soul chord. And we use it a lot in gospel. You know, so if I take like a G, I might play something like that. I like to voice it like that. So if I'm doing like, you know, as the deer, Right there again, minor 11. So minor 11, whenever I'm pulling on my, and when I'm doing a 2-5 passing, that 2, a lot of the time, I voice that 2 as a minor 11. I can sometimes go to the 2 of the key. So I mean, we're in the key of C. You can go to D minor, and sometimes I might do something like that and get my D minor 11. This is what one of the chords would categorize as a fat chord. Gives a nice fat sound, but it's also a diatonic chord. You don't have to go outside the key to find a minor 11. If you go to your 2 chord in the key of C, you can find a minor 11. If you go to the 6th chord, you can find a minor 11. Look at these nice cluster voicings. So a lot of the times, if you're looking for that cluster sound, the minor 11th is what's going to sort of give you that. All right, moving down the line, we have our flat 9, flat 13th. Flat 9, flat 13th chord. These are chords that are generally used on when I'm doing a secondary dominant, or if I'm on the 5 chord, 5 going to 1, you can make these flat 9, flat 13th. It has a beautiful sound. So if I'm doing my, going back to that song as there, right there. Right there. So when I did my 3-6-2-5 turnaround, when I get to my 6, I can do that. And look how I'm voicing it. So I got my flat 9 here and I got my flat 13th here. As the deer panted for the waters of my soul, longed after thee. So that's a cool place you can use the flat 9 chord. Let's take a look now at the sharp 9, sharp 5 chord, or sharp 5, sharp 9. Now the popular chord to use on the dominant. You can use it on your 5. You can use it whenever you're doing secondary dominants, 2-5 passing. Whenever you have a dominant 7th chord, you can generally extend it into one of these sharp 9, sharp 5, and it works. So if I'm on my G, we have a sharp 5, sharp 9. Sometimes I see this chord be referred to as the augmented 7 flat 9 chord. Or sharp 5, sharp 9. So this actually. So you might see it be referred to as the augmented 7 sharp 9. But it's the same thing, sharp 9, sharp 5 chord. Now, when I'm doing again in my as the there, see that chord right there? So this is taking me to 6, but it's the sharp 5, sharp 9 chord. I got my sharp 5 there, and I got my sharp 9 there. As the deer pant, sharp 9, sharp 5. Set for the waters of my soul, long after thee. I can even do it here. Or And I can even... So that's another popular chord you can use on dominant. And you can use the variation. You can use a sharp 5, sharp 9, flat 5, flat 9. They're all considered altered chords. When you hear someone talk about the altered chord, sharp 9, sharp 5, or flat 9, flat 5 is what they're referring to. And the last chord we're going to look at today is the sus2, sus4. Used a lot in gospel chord, and we generally use this on the dominant, on the 5, going to the 1. And it's just basically this right here. You know, it's like a 4, a 5 over 4. But it's basically just a G7, sus2, sus4. A lot of the time in gospel, when we go to the 5, we play this chord. It takes us to 1. So it goes back to those kind of preaching chord again, you. Hear that sound. Sus2, sus4. So those are the top 10 gospel chords. These you're going to find in 9 out of every 10 songs. You're going to find, if not all of these chords being used someplace, most of them. So let me go back to As the Deer and play it from the top and show you where all of these chords come up. So we have our Ad 9, first chord we talked about. As the deer, minor 7, flat 5. All right. So as the deer pant, and this is the sharp 5, sharp 9, tet 4, our minor 9, the waters, the minor 11, oh my soul, major 9, long and after thee. Our flat 9, flat 13th. You alone, our altered chord, are my heart's desire and alone. Our 6, 9, long and aft. Our 5, don't know where sus2, sus4, long and after thee. You alone are my strength. Major 9, my shield. Remember we talked about that first inversion, Ad 9 chord. You alone does my spirit heal. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long it after minor 9, and long it after thee. But you know, there's so much variations you could do with this. I'm just having some fun. So if you can sort of study these top 10 chords, experiment with them in the songs that you're currently playing, that will take you a long way. Top 10 gospel chords right here. Trust this tutorial was very helpful for you. If it was, please give me a comment, give me a subscribe if you're new to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every Wednesday when we post new content. All right? For my diehard fans who've been following for a while, thank you for continuing to support the channel. Thank you for the weekly comments, the questions, the likes, the shares, all of that stuff. I just want you guys to know that it is appreciated. If you love this content, if this is exactly the stuff you're looking for to take your playing to the next level, and you want a way more detailed, structured lessons, I invite you to head over to Piano Lesson with Warren to check that out. That's where we have courses and lessons and song breakdowns, nicely structured. That comes with PDFs, downloadable MIDI, LMS file, just everything you need to help your growth process smoother as a gospel musician. And whatever we don't have over there, you can make requests and I will be sure to implement it ASAP, as soon as possible. So it's a great place for people who are looking to really devote some time and consistency to their musical growth. All right, Piano Lesson with Warren. Head over there, check it out, let me know what you think. And as always, if you have any questions, I can be reached on here on YouTube, Facebook. You could find me on the Piano Lesson with Warren. Instagram, you could find me on the Piano Lesson with Warren. And most of you probably have my email by now. You can email me directly from the website, or there's a live chat feature you can just jump on, leave your questions, and I'll be sure to reply. So, multiple avenues you can reach out to me. If you really want to take your piano to the next level, holler at me and I'll let you know how we can help you. All right, so bye for now. Review this video. Study it in detail, each of these chords, especially the voicings I'm using. Remember, the voicing can make or break the way you're playing chords. And so start to experimenting with voicing is where things will start to gel and you'll start to hear that sound to take you to the next level. Bye for now and see you next week, or catch you over on the other side on the website where we go in detail with a lot more courses that covers a lot of the stuff. All right, take care. Bye for now. Y'all go enjoy your weekend.